if I didn't get the right conditions met, right? If I was born into soils that weren't nourishing, that weren't nurturing, right? That made it really hard for me to thrive and flourish. And I've been fighting against that, like the weed trying to come through the cracks in the cement or whatever. If all of that is true, and that's the foundational nourishment that I received, then yes, that has impacted me. For sure, that has impacted me. And I have to work hard, for sure, as many of us have to work hard to do, right? But what do I need to do now? Is there anything that I can do now that can shift that? Is there any quantum leap? Is there any spiritual teaching? Is there anything that can lift me out of that pattern? Because I don't think that we are meant to be here existing in these patterns, existing in these environments that have been, the majority of these patterns and environments have not served us, okay? There are, yes, we've all had different lived experiences. Yes, some of our traumas are worse than others, for sure. And it's not to minimize or compromise any of that, right? And those experiences have made it so that we've had to adapt and work really hard to get ourselves to where we are today. And we're still working hard, and that's exhausting, right? And this is why I've worked so hard to try to find the answers to the question of, we're not supposed to just be burdened by this our entire life. If we've all come into environments in which the conditions were not perfectly ripe for us to thrive and survive, then what is the purpose here? Hence the spiritual quest, right? What is the purpose of my life if I'm just fighting against the fact that I wasn't nourished properly? I didn't get the foundational nourishment that I needed. Am I supposed to just exist the rest of my life tolerating that? Or is there something else that we're missing that actually could change it and shift it now that I have conscious awareness, now that I'm capable to remove myself from that environment? I believe, because there's enough information now about the quantum field, about consciousness, about healing, about the energetics of healing, about different modalities that can actually shift deep within the cellular matrix, these programs. I believe that there is a way out. And so that belief is what generates the motivation to be like, okay, I'm not just surviving anymore. And I'm not just going to be in the story of my past anymore. I'm going to accept that my past had this impact on me.